The following podcast is set for at least 1 hour. Introducing your hosts from Fort Worth, Texas, at a total combined weight of 430 pounds, Kevin and Chris Newell. The Cross Promo Pro Wrestling Podcast.
How's it going, wrestling fans? I'm Kevin.
I'm Chris.
And we are the Cross Promo Pro Wrestling Podcast. Welcome, one and all. Welcome to our show.
Just remember the
Happy Friday to everybody. It's been one long week.
Well, we still got Collision.
Yeah, we still got Collision to do, but
I think,
far...
Yeah, I think that's all.
Yeah, but it's been a real busy week. I'm just getting everything all set up here and switched over. All right. So how's everybody's Friday been? End of the week. Hopefully you're done with the work week, ready to go into the weekend. For some of us, it's hot, especially here in Texas.
What was it today again? Had almost 90.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
we about burnt up. But then we had some storms that came in here.
hopefully that will cool things down a little bit.
Well, we do hope. Most definitely. All right.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna cool. Oh,
I don't think they came in to hear the weather forecast, Chris.
on cross promo weather.
We go to Ollie.
Go to Ryan.
Thank you, Ollie.
It's raining sideways.
No, that's the report from Forrest Gump.
Oh.
It rained sideways. Reminds me of Jenny. Jenny rained sideways. But I kept running. Again, if you're on our YouTube, you saw the disclaimer. We do apologize ahead of time for our...
Wait, that was a disclaimer?
Yeah, I put a disclaimer. I'm sorry. We apologize ahead of time of our terrible impressions, whether they be actual, celebrities or
I'm legit gonna play that back
professional
now.
wrestlers.
I want to see the disclaimer.
No, there was no... it's in the description of the video. You don't need to play it back. It's in the description of the video.
Oh.
In big, bold letters.
We do apologize ahead of time for our bad impressions, in all caps.
See?
Yeah.
And quit hiding your face. I'm keep telling you.
They can't see me as long as I stay really still in behind this microphone.
All right. Well, we got some things to cover. Little happening in news, so we'll definitely make the best of the show for you guys. Because it is the end of the week. You guys want to get on and kick off your weekend correctly. But of course, you got to remember we're going to be here tomorrow night for Collision.
Fun.
And see what happens there. We may go into that a little bit, but first, we need to remind people of some things first. Of course.
Sponsored by O'Hare Air. No, I'm joking. And the Lord.
We didn't get sponsored by an airport.
No, that was a, remember the Lorax?
No. Vaguely.
Oh.
Anyway.
He speaks for the trees.
Yeah, I know that.
And for some reason. that was another funny thing.
Alright, so if this is your first time, we're a wrestling podcast. We go over pro wrestling. We come on. We
try to talk about pro wrestling.
We try to talk about pro wrestling without getting easily distracted.
Huh?
You do. You get easily distracted.
I do?
Yeah, you do.
We do?
No, you do. Don't try to Bugs Bunny me. I know that trick. Anyway, if you're new here, we are on live Monday through Saturday to give you guys recaps of the shows that you may have missed If you already saw them, you can just still jump on in and talk about what you thought about the show. If you missed our show and missed whatever wrestling show that day of that week, you can always find us on our audio podcast.
Hey, not Chris, not this
Hey.
Chris. Welcome.
Aaron Black 1210 on Twitter, better known as like
Twitch.
this Chris said, not that. It's that
And,
Chris.
and
not
then I
this
remember
Chris.
we came up. I think it was Bearded Chris at one point.
Bearded Chris, yeah. Yeah, well, you're getting a beard right now too, so it kind of doesn't count.
I'll have to shave at some point.
Yeah. But he's saying, "Hey, you guys, we're doing
Movie
good today."
Maker's
And
here
then
too. WWE Movie Maker.
we got
Welcome.
we got WWE Movie Maker on our YouTube chat. Hey, how's it going?
And another thing for those who are watching like in the playback or on the pod. Okay, just making sure I didn't.
You need to be
Knock it
careful with your hands.
Yeah.
You're gonna break the damn microphone at one point.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were saying?
If you want to like interact with us or anything, you'll have to come to the live either Twitch, YouTube, or Kick. I think Instagram too, but we don't.
Instagram, but we don't see the chats for Instagram. It's
Yeah.
mainly
Just you.
the ones for Kick, YouTube, and Twitch that we are looking at. Of course, this is for all you first timers, and again, as I was saying, if you do miss our video podcast and you say it's the next day and you want to listen, you can find us anywhere you find your podcast, whether that be Apple, Amazon Music. I thought the show was a solid 6 out of 10, says WWE Movie Maker. All right. But yes, you can find us anywhere. Apple Podcast, Amazon Music. You can find us on iHeartRadio. Pretty much anywhere you can find or get your podcasts, definitely. Just jump on in and just click on us and listen. But if you are able and have time to come and watch, we're live, and we also have saved episodes on YouTube. You just go to our YouTube channel always, and of course we always ask that you follow anywhere on our social media accounts, like right here, and also on YouTube. We ask you to click the subscribe, like, and then also click the bell notification, so that way it'll notify you when we go live or when we got new content out.
There's
we got
another Kevin.
Whoop! I broke my microphone there.
After you go my case about not breaking the mic.
This looks like a new person to our chat. Kevin Brew. Hey, no freak off party tonight, okay? Yeah, no problem. There won't be any freak off party tonight. You don't have to worry about that.
We'll just hit
from us.
someone with a table.
Yeah. Let's see. Then also, if you want to join our Discord and you haven't already, first off, why haven't you? Just type that into your search, or type that into wherever you go online, and it'll send you to our Discord. Chris, go ahead and fill them in real quick. What they can find on our Discord.
We put up the main thing that we do is like polls for match of the week. We will be putting one of those out after Collision.
Which will be, we'll put out a poll tomorrow night for match of the week.
Usually it's at like the end. It's usually Saturday we put that out, I would say. And then if there's a pay-per-view Sunday or something like that, then that'll get applied to the week, the following week. We also put out announcements. We're going to work on getting our links to our other stuff put in there. There's also, you can also make suggestions for stuff you want us to talk about, or more recently matches you want us to look into
and review and we'll review live on our show. Mainly because he's only still fresh into the being a fan in professional wrestling, and he's only been in for 5 years, right?
Has it been 5 years?
It's been 5 years, I think, since the lockdown, since COVID. Yeah. And then you became a fan then. That was when
I'm not really
that's when the whole bloodline started to come about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I would say I joined in the middle of the bloodline.
yeah. Well, no. You went. You saw the birth. You saw the
end.
beginning of it. You saw the beginning of it. That's when you saw it. It was like after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It was about around then. But it's for him to look at some classic matches, some matches of the past, and just kind of learn of professional wrestling that way. And plus, it gives me a chance to look at them all over again. And we review them here on our show. But again, you just click on that Discord link there.
Can also share like memes and stuff. Probably mostly related to wrestling.
Of course.
Also just general community stuff.
And as always, we keep the rule of our truth and keep it
PG.
Keep it PG. All right. And then, I know we usually do this at the end. Give me a second here. I know we normally do this at the end of our shows, but we figure we do it at the start of our shows too, just so you guys have enough time while you're watching us, and you go to a second window and you can just look us up and everything. Give me a second here, and I'll explain and show you guys. So, we do have a merch store, and it is cross promo podcast -shop.fourthwall.com. You guys type that in, and it'll take you to
a place. It'll take you somewhere. I don't know.
What? No, it'll take you to this website right here. This is our merch website where you can get shirts, mouse pads, you can get stickers, you can get sweatshirts, get hats, get hoodies, get mugs, and
mugs, hats, things. You can get cross-promo themed things.
Exactly. We'll be working on adding more stuff to our store here, but just to get things started off, you can always get our wonderful shirts here. They come in a range of colors, of course. I don't know who the model of this guy is, but you can get them in different colors, of course, especially if there are any female listeners out there that want it in pink or something like that. Anywho, so yeah, it is that website there, the cross promo podcast -shop.fourthwall.com. All right. Well, with all that out of the way, plugging everything that we can possibly think of, Chris, I think
Insert joke about plugging the Dynamite Diamond ring here.
Or, DX used to do that. You can find all of our merch at www.shop.com kind of thing. They would do that. But enough of plugging our stuff. Let's get to the reason why you're here, and that's to talk about wrestling, and mainly to talk about WWE Smackdown. So,
the chats are gone.
No, they're not. Chats are right there.
Hey, they're back.
Because Yinzer is here.
Yeet.
Yeet. The divine one.
Then on the YouTube chat, we have WWE Movie Maker saying that he wonders what screwy finish they're going to use or going to have with Truth versus Cena next week.
I can tell you right now, Movie Maker, it's going to be the return of Cody Rhodes.
You think they're going to have him come back?
That's probably where Cody's going to come back.
Why?
I don't know. Just to continue their rivalry or try to finish it up. Get something geared up for the next pay-per-view. Who knows?
I still feel like they should have actually had him finish the rivalry with The Rock instead of bringing it back and then forgetting and then bringing it back and then forgetting and bringing it back and forgetting.
It's irritating not only you but other fans.
Yeah.
Movie Maker says feels like it's too soon for Cody. It might be, but
I'm thinking at least
I don't know where they're going to go from there. They just had Randy Orton. They have the rivalry with Randy Orton. Yeah. You can't put in CM Punk all that quickly because he's got something going on with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, which is really, really good.
I'm thinking
waiting for Goldberg. Oh, God.
No. Cena's next.
Oh, God.
Gunther. because they started that a little bit.
There's a lot of people saying Gunther and Goldberg, but
Yeah.
that'd probably be at like Crown Jewel or something.
Let's see. Starting SmackDown now or no? What's that?
We got Brandon B. If they think, I think they want Cena wrestle as good as his friends before he retired. After, I'm thinking that he's gonna wrestle all of his friends first before he retires. He can't wrestle.
Not Edge.
He's not. Yeah, he can't wrestle Edge, and he can't wrestle The Rock because The Rock is busy doing something. But he can definitely wrestle CM Punk. He can't wrestle Batista either because Batista's retired. And he's not going to come out of retirement for him.
Batista retired?
Yeah, Batista's been retired.
How did he retire?
It was facing Triple H at WrestleMania 35, I think.
Was it an injury or just...
No, just retired. He was done. He was more interested in making movies. Quit making the desk move. Cena versus Wade Barrett would have been nice. Yeah. Relive the old Cena versus Nexus rivalry. That would have been great. All right. Well, let's get busy with the recap for SmackDown. Go ahead, Chris.
All right, so SmackDown started, things happened, and then SmackDown ended. All right, next subject.
Smart aleck.
No, so
this time, okay. I've been telling Chris this for a while. Do it to where people can see your face, because you're over here doing this stuff. Okay? You're
So like
hiding
this?
like an emo kid.
So like this.
Don't do that. You're hiding
Well,
behind the
then
mic
it's
like
gonna-
an emo kid, like you're about to bust out with, and tonight could be the night that I can fall for you. Don't do that. We got someone new. Jake Henderson saying, breaking news, Donald Trump had bought AEW. Donald Trump will make AEW great again.
I'm not sure if anybody could... You know, if anyone could make AEW great again, who would it be? Other than Vince.
No one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No one.
You remember when they were talking about Shane getting it? It really would be like...
I think those plans fell through.
Yeah.
Because if there was something that were to have happened, it would have happened already. Because the whole thing with Shane, they were talking about Shane before All In.
Last year.
WWE Movie Maker says Vince McMahon in his prime could have.
Yeah, before all of the
But then again,
legal troubles.
yeah, too many legal troubles since the 90s. Or heck, since the 80s, I would think. Anyway, we need to get through SmackDown here.
Yeah, and then we have, I guess, a little bit of news.
Oh,
Another
a little bit of
day.
news, yeah, but then still after that, then we can talk more about wrestling.
So you had Solo, Cobb, and Jacob come out. Solo talking about his match, or I guess
His
match
upcoming match
yeah,
later that night, or later this
later
evening.
tonight then, but earlier tonight now.
Shane and Tony wants to wait for a great time to bring him in a storyline.
Yeah.
I sure hope so. If they're wanting to
Do anything?
do
with it?
anything, but we'll see.
See. So he was talking about how he's going to bring back the title after Money in the Bank. He's going to cash in, do all that,
Right?
and then and then immediately after that, over here trying to steal Jacob's line.
Yeah.
His lines.
He's trying to do an impression of Jacob Fatu. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
Then,
lose your spot?
no, I was thinking.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that too.
All right.
Let's see. Then it ended up bringing up the whole thing about. Well, you had Jacob talk a bit about how he won the title and didn't need the others. He could have done it with or without them.
Right.
And then they got on the subject of how Jacob used to say the Solo "I love you" thing.
Yeah. Oh God.
And then he tried making him say it, and he said it like once. And then he went back to trying to make him say it like how he actually used to say it.
Right.
Then you had LA Knight come out and attack Jeff Cobb.
Yeah. Well, now he goes by a different name, and that's JC. They just shortened his name. In fact, I got a news story about it, but
You want to use that as a transition, like go back and forth between the news, or just?
no. We'll still recap.
But yeah, Batista. Oh, he was talking about the Batista thing.
Oh, Jens, yeah, Batista is an actor.
Yeah. Eventually, a match got made later later tonight. Then earlier tonight now. Match between LA Knight and Cobb, or JC. Then you had promo backstage with Michin and B-Fab, talking about how I think Michin was gonna win Money in the Bank, and then they were gonna go after the tag titles. Yeah, and then you had Chelsea Green come out, kind of mess with them a little bit. And that's when the news came out that the Secret Service would be banned or barred from ringside for the upcoming match.
As well as B-Fab.
And nobody at ringside for that match, which then got right into the women's triple threat for Money in the Bank qualifier match. Alexa Bliss, Michin, and Chelsea Green. Again, Money in the Bank qualifier. Match ended with Alexa Bliss pinning Chelsea Green. This was after, I think, what was it, Sister Abigail?
Yep.
What's the name?
Sister Abigail DDT.
It has DDT at the end?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's new for me, so.
You did see Jeff Cobb. I think that was good to bring him in now than then. We'll see. Oh, yeah, that's right. I always butcher his name. Hikuleo or whatever. He just got on to NXT, so they're going to try to get him in
Sooner or later.
sooner or later, yeah.
To be announced. Card subject to change.
The card subject to change, yeah.
After that match, you had Fraxium versus DIY. Match ended with Axiom pinning Gargano, and then DIY attacking Fraxium. And then you had Motor City, the team of Motor City Machine Guns coming out and attacking DIY, kind of evening things out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I said that right. Then you had, again, cutting backstage again, Ray Phoenix warming up. Andrade coming out to encourage him. And then Solo looking around for LA Knight.
Yeah. Like, how would Andrade and Ray Phoenix know where...
They're tracking him.
Yeah, where would they know where LA Knight is? They don't hang out together. LA Knight doesn't hang out with anybody, so that's like...
I don't think they've interacted like on the show that I've seen.
No, Andrade and LA Knight has.
Oh, that's right, because of the rivalry thing.
Exactly.
But not Phoenix.
No.
So. Then you had R-Truth getting interviewed. Again, a good portion of that interview, he was still praising Cena. And then he said that the guy at that conference that attacked him, the guy that turned on the fans, that was not Cena, even though I think it looked like Cena. Granted, we could see that guy and we can't see Cena, so.
Yeah. Well, the theory is that
he's an evil clone.
John Cena has been different since he lost to Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. That
he's a clone of his secret evil brother.
In a way, the person we're seeing is the evil John Cena, and the good John Cena is still trapped.
That is
in the Firefly Fun House.
You think he'll ever
escape? That's a theory that they're going with right now.
Yeah, theory headcanon type thing.
Jacob Toretto. Yeah. It is. It's Jacob. Yeah.
We're going to have to get around to watching those movies at some point.
At some point in time, yeah.
Don't know when. I get all the stupid family jokes I keep making.
Yeah, but yet you haven't seen the movie. It's ridiculous.
At least not all the way through.
No,
like bits and pieces. like literally just bits and pieces, and that's it.
Yeah.
We're gonna put rockets on cars.
But yeah, that's the theory that some fans are having. If you're going with like storylines and stuff, Cena and Jacob switched. Yeah,
He might have.
he might have. All right, go ahead.
And then they announced that there was going to be a match between between Cena and R-Truth at main event.
Saturday night main event. Yeah.
Not like, did they get rid of the smaller main event show?
Yeah.
And
No. Actually, no. That's still around.
They have Saturday night main event and Thursday night main event.
They have Saturday night main event and just main event.
That's weird.
Yeah. It would have been less confusing if they brought back superstars.
It's like when they rebooted the Modern Warfare series for Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And then the only one I think was really that great was the first one, the 2019, and then that's a whole different side thing. And then immediately after that, it was downhill.
Yeah.
The second one was probably okay too, but again,
we're not here about video games.
Third one onward, just not good.
Why is Cos always walking so slow right now? He's like an old man. Oh, Cena. I don't know.
I mean, he is getting up there.
He is. He's like in his late 40s, mid to late 40s now. Well,
I'm not really sure why he does that either, come to think of it. Next match, you have Aleister Black and Carmelo Hayes. Miz at ringside. Eventually, he attacked Aleister Black. The ref caught that and didn't DQ.
Miz attacked Aleister Black.
Yeah.
But then Miz and Carmelo Hayes both jumped Aleister Black afterward.
Yeah. They figured, well, we already lost. Might as well attack him more.
Yep.
Then you had Alexa getting interviewed, talking about how not interviewed, she was backstage. Well, maybe it was an interview. She was being asked questions.
It was trying to be an interview.
Yeah. Talking about how she wants to be backstage, but then she looked off screen and then she walked over to Charlotte, who was at Nick Aldis.
Yeah, we just got done talking about R-Truth not too long ago.
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah. We could see Cena, therefore it's a different Cena.
Yeah. You were talking about
Alexa and Bliss and
Charlotte, yeah.
So then you had Smackdown, Nick Aldis and his office. They were standing by that. And Julia came out, and that's when we find out that Julia actually joined SmackDown. She signed with them.
She's a new member of the roster, so she's no longer a part of NXT. So
we'll have to see
if
what
you're
happens there.
playing along at home with your WWE universe and you're trying to keep it up to date and current, time to move Julia to SmackDown. We got a new comment. Go ahead and read it, Chris.
That's a lot of names.
Oh, reading everybody that was released.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Braun Strowman, Corey J, Dakota Kai,
Eddie Thorpe.
Danny Palmer, Eddie Thorpe, Gigi Dolan, Jakara Jackson, Javier Bernal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was rumors that Shotzi was going to a different promotion that I think we talked about earlier this week.
We did. We talked about that earlier this week. Major League Wrestling.
Yeah.
That's where she's going to be heading, much like where Matt Riddle went after he left WWE. He went to Major League Wrestling and is the.
I thought he went to New Japan.
No, he did New Japan, but then came back and started doing Major League Wrestling and is their main champion now.
Cool.
All right.
Then you had McIntyre come out. He called Priest jealous.
Oh, this was after a video package of Priest coming out saying that Saturday Night Main Event, Priest, McIntyre in a cage.
That's going to be cool.
I look forward to seeing that one. But then that's when McIntyre came out.
And that was pretty much the main thing he was going over, and repeating in so many words. Welcome. I'm gonna
New person to the chat.
Hello.
Murray Malaysia Johor Undisputed Championship, the last reel. Okay. Hello, how's it going? Welcome to the YouTube chat. Welcome to the show.
So then after you had Drew come out, you had Solo come out.
Well, you got to remember it was Drew coming out and saying that
Priest is jealous.
he was basically performing something out from one of his favorite Scottish movies, Highlander.
Oh yeah, that's
where
right.
He says there can be only one.
Yeah.
Or something like Mel Gibson's Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. He was doing that kind of typical thing. More on the chat here. WWE Rhea Ripley Women's Championship versus Liv Morgan Saturday Night Main Event live. Now we hope that would be true. We will see more AAA wrestlers in WWE more, and might have TNA sign. Yes, one of them from TNA definitely probably being Joe Hendry.
I was about to say. I remember us talking on and off about how we think Joe's coming to WWE
after his contract ends with TNA, and then of course you have Worlds Collide after the acquisition of AAA, and I really think we're going to see more AAA stars, and then it will probably lead to Triple H wanting to make
Triple H.
No, Triple H will probably want to make NXT Mexico. And after he's established that, because he's wanting to go back and do not NXT UK, but NXT Europe. And then this was like a couple of years ago where I saw this in an article, and they were talking about there are talks. There was nothing written in stone, nothing to confirm nor deny, but it's been kicked around in the rumors that he's wanting to definitely take it global by putting NXTs in Europe, Mexico, and Japan as well.
Yeah.
Saturday Night Main Event: Dominic Mysterio Intercontinental Championship versus Finn Balor. I think that
we were saying we think that one's going to be at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Finn and Dom.
Triple H doing the Vince thing, except he's partnering with all companies, and eventually he'll buy them all out. Maybe. I think it would be funny if WWE brings UFC. Yeah, more fighters like Vince. Yeah, like
I don't know.
Was it Ken Shamrock?
I don't think he's gonna do that. Triple H.
He might not, because you already got enough people already butthurt about Logan Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Nash has spoken about it.
I still feel
a lot of people have spoken out about it.
That, and at the same time, I feel like it makes more sense to get some former UFC guy than over here. Trippy Cheese Man, or Moldy Cheese Man, or whatever.
Who?
Logan. His most recent controversies over here, the Lunchables ripoff.
Right.
With moldy, drippy cheese.
Right. Okay. Now it's kicking back. TKO can bring them in to have UFC versus WWE. I wonder how the Hulkster and Eric will put. I'm not.
Real America wrestling, brother.
I don't see how they're going to really pull this off. I don't think it's going to be a successful thing, personally, I think.
They're going to do it with the help of vitamins.
Well, I mean, come on. Well, okay, let's get through SmackDown, and then we'll talk more about this, because that's a good subject to talk about. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's try to get through this quickly.
Then you had the men's Money in the Bank qualifier: Solo, Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, and Rey Fenix. Which then you had Solo qualifying by pinning Rey Fenix with help from some of his friends, like interfering with that.
Yeah.
And then you had
an impromptu match that was made.
Yeah, after that.
Yeah.
And that match was made because you had LA Knight come out and attack all three of them. what was it we were calling it? Timu Bloodline? Since
Yeah,
apparently
Timu
they're back
in a way.
and they're not really calling themselves the Bloodline anymore.
No, they're gonna have to come up with some other catchy name.
Yeah. That's when you had LA Knight come out and make the match between Jake.
LA Knight came out.
Wait, what?
Nick Aldis came out and made the match.
Yeah. SmackDown. Nick Aldis came out and made the match between Jeff Cobb and LA Knight because again, LA Knight's kind of mad about that whole thing.
Yeah.
Cobb he won clean that match, didn't he?
Yeah, but he put on a great show and surprisingly enough beat LA Knight.
It was a good debut match for him then.
I think so.
See, then you had after that promo where I think it was Berto sticking up for Angel or helping arrange, or maybe it was the other way around.
No, you had Santos Escobar talking to Angel.
Yeah.
Angel over here defending Berto, like, hey, or protecting him in a way, saying, hey, he didn't come in today because he's wanting to, he needs time to cool off. I told him he needs to cool off after what happened last week and him slapping you and all this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. And Santos ended up, long story short, basically saying, I want to have a sit-down party with him and just talk with him and work things out.
He attacks him and smashes him through a table.
He probably will. And he's gonna end Legado del Fantasma yet again.
Another one of his little factions.
Yeah, because he ended it in NXT before coming to the main roster.
I'm starting to see a trend with Escobar's factions.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
Let's see. Then you had like a video promo thing by Shinsuke.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Shinsuke versus Aleister Black. He made a challenge, but I'm thinking that's going to be cool.
That's going to be a great match to watch.
Either that or a rivalry. I think it's going to be more of a rivalry, but I'm still looking forward to that.
Strong style versus kickboxing versus Muay Thai kickboxing. I love it.
That and they both have that kind of darker style about them.
As far as gimmicks, yes. But still, their style of wrestling it meshes really well, I think. And I can't wait to. I look forward to seeing that.
See.
I really do.
You had Tiffy saying that Cargill would never cash in on her. You had
Yeah.
Naomi kind of in the background of that.
Yeah, Tiffy was talking to Jade Cargill, and Jade was just saying, just to remind you, when I go in and get the money in the briefcase, I'll be cashing it in. And she's like, well, and then Tiffany is basically saying, while I have this championship belt, you're never going to cash it in on me.
Yeah. Even though that's how she won it by cash-ins. So.
Exactly.
We'll have to see how that goes. And usually it's not planned to have someone cash in on you, You're not expecting that.
Yeah. Brandon B on YouTube is saying, I think Wardlow will be in WWE soon, too. And we'll see. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I'm still hearing that he's... I'm still hearing somewhere that he's still injured. Not medically cleared or anything. We'll see.
We blame AEW.
It would be interesting to see him.
See, then you had the main event, which was Nia Jax versus Tiffany. It was either number one contender match or for the title. I think it was for the title.
Yeah, it was. It was for the women's title.
Yeah. I want to say that, but I wasn't 100% sure. Match ended with Tiffany successfully retaining her title and by pinfall. She retained by pinfall. And another funny thing, didn't really get in the notes, but you had the Annihilator in the corner, and it's almost always in the corner, right?
Right.
And you'd think that she would expect
this whole time that she does her finish.
Yeah. You would think that someone would have done this earlier, but Tiffany got the ropes and broke the pin.
Yeah.
So.
That's when she grabbed her belt, when Nia came out of the ring, grabbed the belt, and just pretty much said, that's it, I'm going. But then she ended up going back into the ring.
Yeah, and I made the joke we were going to have to deal with another undisputed title, and Dad would be happy about that because reasons.
Well, yeah.
And he's already sick of me making jokes about the undisputed
WWE
I really
title.
am.
So. I really am.
It's gotten to the point I just
You
shortened
gonna
it
let me get in a word or something, son? Jeez.
Yeah.
I think they got in a good understanding. You like to push my buttons.
With the triple undisputed
Oh, good
WWE men's title.
I'll throw something at you. Anyway, so Nia goes back into the ring, but she brings the chair because the ref's back is turned. Tiffany sees this and drop kicks the chair right in Nia's face, and it looks like, from what I saw, it really went into Nia's face, because next thing I know, Nia is like cut open and she's got a lot of blood coming down already.
Yeah.
So it may have been a gash to where she may get stitches like up here. We may see that actually next time. I'm keeping an eye on the news to see if there's a pop-up of any major injuries that may have happened or anything, but definitely look into that. But that was pretty much the end of SmackDown there. Overall, what would you give? What did you think of SmackDown?
Main event was good. Like the stuff with Jacob and R-Truth. And Aleister Black match was good too. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, that's a good SmackDown.
I enjoyed it. We're building up to Money in the Bank, so we're getting qualifying matches out of the way. Next week, they're having Julia, Charlotte, and Zelina Vega compete in a triple threat to qualify. For the men's, I can't remember for the men's.
Me neither. I really can't. I can't remember either, like, the next match.
I cannot remember their qualifying match. But for the tag team titles, they will be defended by the Street Profits as they go up against Fraxium, since Fraxium picked up that win last week. So we may get new tag champs before the end of the week next week. So we'll wait and see. I enjoyed it. I think match of the night. What do you think? Before I put in my opinion.
Main event.
The women's championship match? I think so too. We'll give that one the match of the night. We'll put it in our poll. We got one more night of wrestling to go to pick one more match, and that's when we'll let you guys decide in the vote in our Discord what you guys think match of the week will be. All right. Well, with that, now that we're done talking about SmackDown, we're going to go ahead and proceed to go into news. So, as we were talking earlier about Jeff Cobb getting a whole new name in WWE, as they like to do, because they don't want to have people go back and be like looking at a wrestler's past and independent wrestling and everything like that. They gave him.
Is that why they changed the name?
Usually that's why. I don't know the main reason why, but they just like to change the wrestlers' names. Sometimes the wrestlers want to change their own name. Like, I went by this name when I was doing independence and developmental. I want to change the name. I think I got a better gimmick now that I'm getting the hang of professional wrestling a little bit more. I want to do this character, that kind of thing. Yeah. Whereas if you're the Undertaker, you get the gimmick given to you. And the story behind that was, if you watched Stone Cold's Broken Skull sessions, the very first Broken Skull session, they had Undertaker, aka Mark Calloway, on, and just talking about his career and how the whole thing of Undertaker came about. Was they were promoting the giant egg for Survivor Series. This was about around 1990.
He didn't want to be in the egg.
Well, at this point,
he did not want to be in the egg.
No, he didn't. And during this point in his career, before he started seeing the promos and everything, he got released from WCW because he was wrestling as Mean Mark, I believe the name was. I could be wrong on the name, but he was wrestling for WCW. At one point, his manager was he had some managers. One of them, of course, he had Paul Heyman as a manager, but he went by Paulie Dangerously. And at one point, Theodore Long was his manager. That's where it kind of clicked on why everyone was during the Ruthless Aggression era was going to go one-on-one with the Undertaker every night on SmackDown.
That's
when
funny.
Theodore Long was the GM, it was like, I'm putting you up against the Undertaker. But he had left because he's been told, you're never going to be marketable. You're not going to make it in this business. Blah blah blah, and got released from WCW. Well, he got things set up with through Paul Heyman to go ahead and meet up with Vince, and he talked with Vince and everything, and he got a phone call, or he started seeing these promos for this egg at Survivor Series, and he's like, oh great, they're going to make me Eggman or whatever it was, and he gets a call from Vince, and Vince saying, is this the Undertaker? And and the Undertaker is just sitting there like, Undertaker. Definitely doesn't sound like Eggman. And then he's like, yes, this is the Undertaker. And that's the birth of the gimmick of the Dead Man, the Phenom, as we know today. Debuted at Survivor Series the same time during that stupid egg, and the gobbledygooker comes out. And
The giant chicken.
I remember watching that when I was younger, when I was a kid. And I'm like,
That was his favorite. No,
so I'm sitting here like, okay, so they're pushing for something in this egg, and
the
it's
Undertaker.
a turkey. It's just a turkey.
Was it near Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was near Survivor Series is always in November near Thanksgiving. And I'm over here like, okay, it's a turkey. And dancing around with Mean Gene Okerlund. Okay, this is not making any sense. What is the point of the gobbledygooker? Everything like that. You know who his manager was back then with the Undertaker? When Undertaker, Brandon B is mentioned about the manager. When Undertaker first came to WWE, it was Brother Love. I love you. It's the guy that's like the televangelist, and he's always red in the face, and he's dressed in white. Turns out I believe it was Tom. I want to say it's Tom Pritchard, but I could be wrong with the name. Maybe not Tom Pritchard, but the name escapes me. But he's now like helping.
It was not Mick Foley.
No,
That was
no, that came later. That came much later. No, he was. It was $1 Million Man, then Brother Love. Yeah, $1 Million Man brought him on at Survivor Series.
Yeah,
and
I think you showed me that one.
Yeah,
Actually.
that the debut of Undertaker was during a Survivor Series match. Undertaker, in his debut, eliminated Coco Beware and also Dusty Rhodes. And Undertaker looked up to Dusty Rhodes and he's like, I'm eliminating my hero. What in the hell? Yes, Brandon B is right. For a brief stint, it was $1 Million Man. And then $1 Million Man, I guess, Brother Love, Undertaker thing went from $1 Million Man, got passed on to Brother Love. And then Brother Love, then he got passed from Brother Love to Paul Bearer. And it just clicked after that.
I remember Paul Bearer.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I could forget that.
No one can, and
We don't.
it was a great manager, great team
It
up
worked.
there. It
Gimmick.
worked so well, and just the look on his face when they would do close-ups of him at the ring. And he's got this pale skin makeup that he's got on, and he's looking. And did you know? I don't know, and I know probably some of you guys out there know this. You probably don't. Paul Bearer was an actual licensed mortician.
Is that why he talked like that?
No. He got a legal license and everything, and he can work on.
That makes the team up with Undertaker better, I think.
Oh yes, it did. Yes, it did because I don't know. It just clicked really well. And then before he became Paul Bearer, yeah, he was known as Percy Pringle in World Class Championship Wrestling. And at one point, that's where they met the first time. Undertaker and Percy Pringle was in WCCW because after Undertaker had officially become a WWE wrestler, or after he became an official wrestler, went to wrestle I can't remember the promotion, like Mid-South or something like that. That same territory. It was like towards the end of the territory days. And at one point, he wrestled in Dallas, just down the road, for WCCW, and Percy Pringle was his manager for a short stint. And I believe his first match... Yes.
Texas Red.
Yeah, Texas Red was his name. And I think he had a mask on, too, if I remember right. If I remember correctly, he was a masked wrestler. And also, if I remember correctly with the history of this, his first match was against Bruiser Brody. And Bruiser Brody was like the Sabu of 80s wrestling. And Bruiser Brody would have classic matches with Abdullah the Butcher, and they would get extreme.
The fork in the head and stuff like that.
Yes, you remember seeing those? Yeah, those scars you see on Abdullah the Butcher's head is from those matches.
Yeah,
but Undertaker's first match was Texas Red against Bruiser Brody, and he would make jokes. Undertaker would talk about those matches to where Bruiser Brody would whip my butt, he would say, all the time. But then after WCCW, he would work somewhat in the territories in the South, and then got signed on to WCW, where he was, I want to say he was like Mean Mark, then this was like late 80s, and like I said, WCW let him go, and then he joined WWE, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah.
Mean Mark is right. Okay, good. I'm scoring 1,000 points here with my history. Woo! Okay. Back to the news. After that history lesson, kids.
You failed. You said woo, that's Flair's thing.
Woo! You'll feel the same. You won't feel the same after you ride Space Mountain.
Oh no.
This suit is worth more than what you make. All right, so back to the news. You're doing good so far. Thanks, Brandon. I promise I'm trying to get everything right. So in the news, Bayley is hinting with her comeback to have a feud with Becky Lynch. And righteously so, because she got attacked at WrestleMania.
I don't know. I think it would be weird for her to come back and then not have that rivalry.
Of course. But this happened on her Instagram story with Bayley's. It showed her kind of doing some exercising, hitting the gym, and she puts in into the caption, comeback season, baby, which means we may see her pretty soon facing Becky Lynch. Did we get another comment?
I did not know that.
Did you know Bruiser Brody was in AWA 2? Yes.
That was Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon B. Yes, I remember Bruiser Brody for some time wrestled for AWA. He was really world renowned. And then sadly had lost his life when he went to go wrestle in Puerto Rico and was stabbed. He was murdered. I am fully convinced. If you watched Dark Side of the Ring, you saw that episode. I'm fully convinced. Yeah, it was that guy that actually stabbed him, and they still haven't convicted him of the crime. They haven't convicted him of murder.
It isn't just a case of Bruiser Brody could just do that.
Yeah. We already talked about Jeff Cobb getting a new name, and for the last news story, yes, I'm telling you, slow. I seen him in the 80s in AWA. Okay, I remember AWA too. He had a lot of. We'll get into that too. I got to remember the other comments we were talking about. But the last news story, Zelina Vega, the current women's United States champion, she has went and dismissed. There have been a lot of accusations against her, saying that she had won the U.S. title due to her husband coming back to WWE. Her husband being Aleister Black.
Yeah.
Well, she was on a.
How would that get her the title, though?
Again, I don't know, but it was during an interview on a radio show on Hot 97, and it was brought up about, her husband's return, and some people saying that she got the title because of that, blah, blah, blah. Well, she went on to say, and I'm quoting her now, it's like the fact that, mind you, this was not planned, which I laugh a lot when I see a lot of fans accusing, like, oh my God, the only reason that she got this title is because of her husband coming back. I'm like, don't you think they would have made it the world title? But anyways, secondly, just to have this happen the same night, literally only 10 minutes apart from when he came back, was another moment where you're like, did this happen? And it did. Fun fact, she did not know she was going to win the title until like right before the match. So,
yeah.
That was it for news. You got another comment?
I still don't get the link there.
How long have you been watching wrestling in my life, Brandon? With him, he's been watching wrestling for
maybe 4 or 5 years.
No, I say 5 years. You've been watching 5 years.
I'm not sure.
I've been watching wrestling since...
As long as he can remember.
No. No, not that long.
Yeah, because that would be really long.
I want to say it was around 89. My first recollection of wrestling, and it was a Saturday Night Main Event, and it was when Elizabeth. It was when the Mega Powers, when they were. It was like before WrestleMania. I think this was like January or February of '89, and it was the storyline of the Mega Powers exploding, and they were going to main event at WrestleMania, and it was Hulk Hogan being attacked by Macho Man backstage after Elizabeth got hurt during their match on Saturday Night Main Event, and since then I was hooked. I was watching wrestling. I was performing moves. I learned how to do the sharpshooter at the age of 6. I knew how to do a sharpshooter at the age of 6. I knew how to do a suplex at the age of 4. Because I would watch them and go, okay, I know how to do that, and then I would be doing suplexes. Because I had one of those, and I know this is going to date me, if anyone was around in the 80s, those My Buddy dolls that got easily confused for Chucky. I had one of those, and it would have the arms and the legs, and I would actually put the arm over my neck, hang on to grab the pants, hook his head, and then actually perform a suplex every time. And then I would have like this shelf that was built into a wall next to my bed, and I would use that as the top rope. And I would jump off and just do a leg drop. I would do an elbow drop. I was like learning moves at a young age to where by the time I was at the age of 10, I could probably pull off a wrestling match.
Just him and his doll?
Just me and that My Buddy doll. I've been watching wrestling for 45 years, 5 years old. AWA and WWF. All right. That's awesome. And Brandon B's probably got a lot more history stories. And I remember more than 5 years ago, I want to say probably about 6 years ago, I started seeing myself watching older wrestling matches. I was starting to watch, because I've watched everything. I've went back when WWE Network came about and started watching old matches that through my childhood, oh yeah, I remember that match, or yeah, I remember that. And I started rewatching Raw from the very beginning, and I was like, yeah, I remember all that. Yep, I remember. I remember you, Brandon. Yeah, I would start watching that, and then I was like, okay, I want to watch these classic matches that these guys have been watching in the past. So I started watching Dusty Rhodes take on Harley Race, Ric Flair take on Harley Race, the famous Dusty Rhodes Ric Flair feud.
Is that the guy taking on Harley Race?
Hey, he was a good wrestler, man. Yeah. He really was. Of course, the 3 matches of Steamboat and Ric Flair, Sting and Flair. I started watching a lot of classic matches, and it was like, okay, I could see why these guys kind of were these wrestlers that were in the 90s and today had looked at these matches and looked up to these guys because of these matches. They were solid matches from bell to bell, and it told a great story.
Also, that Chris, not this Chris, he said he's
I
still
see.
here. He's
Yeah.
just playing 2K. So.
Oh, don't worry. We know.
That's all right.
But yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do with you is try to get you to watch these classic matches, and that's where
the whole suggestion for a match thing comes in.
Yes.
And then I think the last one we got for suggestions was the Kenny Omega
Okada
trilogy thing from
that
Marcus.
one. Yeah, that one will do. If you guys want to suggest matches, definitely join our Discord. I'll put it up for you guys real quick. Well, let me switch.
He's pressing buttons again.
I'm pressing buttons, yes. Let me switch to this, and then I'll put up the Discord again while we're talking so you guys can get a chance to join. That way you guys can drop in some matches to suggest, because it could be matches I've never seen, and definitely matches he's never seen. For example, Brandon B saying he's been to a lot of AWA when he was a kid. Met Shawn Michaels. Oh yeah, when they were the Midnight Rockers before they became the Rockers in WWF. Shawn Michaels, Marty
Jannetty. The World Wildlife Fund?
Huh?
The World Wildlife Fund?
Not that one. Don't be a smart aleck. You know that one.
Yeah.
Before they came to the WWF, they were known in the AWA as the Midnight Rockers, and they at one point became AWA Tag Champs, which they never became WWF Tag. Well, technically, they did. But due to something that happened with their match and the Hart Foundation, it was a horrible match that they didn't put to air on TV.
The Phantom title change.
The Phantom title change, yes. The top rope broke. There was nothing much you can do, and they had to try to work around that. But that was technically the only time they won the titles. But then Phantomly gave them back. Scott Hall, yes, Scott Hall, Kurt Hennig. You want to talk about guys that are now well known and are in the Hall of Fame? You got Scott Hall, later became Razor Ramon. There you go. Kurt Hennig. I'm testing your knowledge now.
Don't know.
Mr. Perfect. Legendary. He comes from You talk about families in wrestling. The Hennings, Axe Hennig, I believe is his dad or grandfather. Can't remember, but that's Kurt Hennig's lineage. Like Randy Orton's dad is Bob Orton Jr., and his grandfather was Bob Orton Sr.
And then one of them was a cowboy.
It was Bob Orton Jr., the famous cast at WrestleMania 1. His dad, okay, Axe Henning. And true fact, Kurt Henning's son, who had ended up becoming a wrestler, had went into WWE. What does that say?
Larry the Axe.
Larry the Axe Henning. Yes, Larry. I lost my train of thought for a second. Kurt Henning's son went by a different name, but his name was like Axel in honor of his grandfather. But we haven't seen him back, and he was a part of the B team with the Miz, him, and Bo Dallas. They called themselves the B team, and then they got released. But a lot of legendary guys came in there, including Hulk Hogan. I know.
It's been funny since he got back in the news. It really has.
Yeah, I know. What was that one comment about Hulk Hogan again? I'm trying to find it.
I think it was further out. Might have to.
Let me go back into the chat and let me look here.
Something about the company and how it would do. The real wrestling thing.
Oh, there it is. Wonder how the Hulkster and Eric will.
It was a WWE Movie Maker's comment.
Yeah. His real name is Joe Henning.
Another Joe.
Another Joe. I did not know that.
They should have a triple threat, and the one that wins, they can keep the name Joe. Samoa Joe, Joe Henning.
Don't do that.
Joe Henning.
Don't do that.
Be like the Josh fight of old.
Yeah. Well, there was talk in the news about Hulk Hogan and his not well-known beer branding
A well-known
Hooters, that restaurant, to try to save the restaurant and keep it alive.
or maybe
I'm like, Hulk, just stop, man. Just stop. You've done a lot. And then a lot of people were over here looking at him going, oh my, we're looking at an image of him during an interview. And a lot of people are thinking, oh my God, is he sick? Is he ill? Is he diagnosed with cancer or something? Because he doesn't look healthy. Is he dying? People were having that kind of a reaction when they saw him.
Is he fine though?
Excuse me. As far as I know, yeah.
Because if he's fine, I can joke about that. If he's not fine, I can't.
Now, as far as I know, yeah, he's fine.
Insert joke about vitamins.
Insert joke here. But yeah, there was a lot of guys that came out of there. Ric Flair, if I remember right, was trained by the guy that ran AWA, Vern Gagne. And Vern Gagne was like on again, off again champion. What was the one champion in AWA? Nick Bockwinkel. Great wrestler. A great guy that would interview. He was very articulate. He spoke really well.
He can word good.
He didn't need a manager, but he had one anyway with Bobby Heenan. And Bobby Heenan was a part of AWA.
Bob and Bob.
You also had Mean Gene Okerlund. He was with AWA. All this before Vince started buying up territories. Axel Henning, sister was Beulah McGillicuddy, is Kurt Henning's daughter. Yes, Beulah McGillicuddy. But you had a lot of guys coming out of AWA, and I believe at one point Roddy Piper came through AWA once, if I'm remembering correctly. Could be wrong, but I know Roddy Piper did wrestle in Georgia Championship Wrestling, and had a few feuds with Ric Flair. Had a real good feud with Greg the Hammer Valentine that led to the dog collar match at the very first Starrcade. That one was a great match. You want to talk about a good a dog collar match? Look to that one, the first Starrcade. Great match.
WWF.
No, he was in WWF. Okay.
WWF.
Yeah, Worldwide Wrestling Federation. Roddy Piper. Yeah. But yeah, my knowledge of wrestling it is spotty in some areas, but things that stand out to me the most is like, okay, I didn't know that. That's interesting to know or interesting to understand. Like,
I understood that reference.
yeah, that kind of thing. Like, oh, I remember seeing that. But yeah, I mean, as you can tell, really big fan. I am. But again, I mean, it's the only thing I know. I mean, I just got done telling you I knew how to pull wrestling moves whenever I was a kid. Maybe I didn't know because I wasn't properly trained, but you know. Yes, Vince Sr. was WWF, then WWF. Then when Vince Jr. bought it, he took out the W and just became World Wrestling Federation. It was no longer Worldwide Wrestling Federation. It became World Wrestling Federation.
And then the whole Panda thing. What was your reaction to the Panda lawsuit?
Oh yeah, good. That's a good question for Brandon. Yeah, that whole thing when they had to change it to World Wrestling Entertainment. To me, at first in the beginning, I'm like,
no,
because now it starts to sound like you're proving to people that it was fake. You
I
thought it was funny?
We still think it's funny.
I think it's still funny too. I'm over here like, when it first came about in 2002, I was like, why? No, that.
I've always thought the fact that they lost a lawsuit to a panda organization was funny.
No, it was just a full wildlife, and it was due to something that happened. Right. It happened. Yeah, it happened. I think.
Don't know why I keep saying panda.
Because the mascot is a panda.
Yeah. That too.
I think it happened in like New Jersey or something. It was like something. It was promotional or whatever, and World Wildlife Foundation was like, "Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you can't know.
It's our name."
Yeah, one of those things. The reason why, because they had the name before Vince did. That is true.
Yeah.
And when promoting it, they had to promote it as World Wrestling Federation.
They had to make sure to say the full name.
Yeah, and then
that could be why it was WWF instead of WWF.
Yeah, now it's WWE, and when I play 2K, and I've already told you this idea, when and Chris and I are still going to still do it in our on 2K. We're gonna combine the major promotions wrestlers, the good ones and the best ones from them, we think, and we were gonna call it World Wrestling Elite.
Or the best wrestle. No.
Well, I mean, let's put the E to good use and not say entertainment, but World Wrestling Elite. You know, maybe that'll happen when WWE buys AEW and it's like, we're changing it to Elite. We're no longer WWE. We're no longer World Wrestling Entertainment. We're World Wrestling Elite.
Because between changing the F to an E, that means entertainment, and then the whole superstars thing, it kind of, from what I've heard, that made wrestling look like a joke for a bit.
That happened in the 80s, and a lot of people were upset about that. They were greatly upset about that. One person in particular was Ric Flair. He said the moment that
it made it look fake or something.
You know, you should watch Legends of Wrestling. You and I will watch Legends of Wrestling, but Ric Flair at one point said the moment when Vince said that, I wonder if TKO will change the name later. They probably will. It'd be, they acquire AEW and then just change it to World Wrestling Elite.
I thought TKO was like the whole thing, UFC and WWE.
It is.
In that case, they should probably stick with TKO, and then WWE later.
No,
on.
TKO is the main company. Then you have under their umbrella, you have UFC, WWE, and TNA. That's why WWE can work with TNA now.
Yeah.
As before.
As like the parent company name, I think they should stick with TKO.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Oh, I just got a notification about Nia Jax's injury real quick.
Funny how we were talking about you waiting for it, and now you got it. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's got a gash right there. It shows a picture of her.
Yeah, that looks like it hurt.
It's like right above her eyebrow on her forehead there where the chair hit her. Yeah.
Hopefully they'll get that one looked at.
And then she had to quote from the movie Dodgeball. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. It's a funny movie. You'd have to see it.
What are they doing? Hiding razor blades in the dodgeball?
No. One of the dudes got punched in the face and he was bleeding from his nose. He goes, no one makes me bleed my own blood. You'd have to see it. It's funny.
I guess it's going on the list.
Yeah, it's going on the movie list. But yeah, what was that? They put duct tape over the eyebrow. They probably would. I want to get back out there. Put duct tape over it.
Put me in, coach.
Put super glue and I'll duct tape it and I'll go back out. No, but again, back to the whole thing with Discord. If you guys got matches that you've seen and you're like, I'd like them to see it and see what they think of it and see if,
a match or like a list of matches or something like that.
Yeah, we'll put a list of matches together and we'll
even like a storyline or something like that. Like maybe storylines too, come to think of it.
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
Since the whole
thing with Okada and we can definitely do that.
Thing.
But definitely put it in our Discord or email us.
crosspromopod@gmail.com.
That's where you can email us there too if you can't get a hold of us through Discord. But we prefer Discord because that way we can interact with you guys more and let you guys know when we're going live and everything like that. What else? I guess just that. Just drop in your matches or feuds you want us to just look over, and we'll give you guys our review on them. And don't forget, we're going to be also watching the documentary of Karrion Kross and reviewing that. What's that say? I got so many wrestling matches I've seen in person and on TV.
Same for him.
Well, not in person, but a lot on TV. So yeah, I'd say send them to us. We'll watch them and we'll review them and just come back onto the show and give you guys what we thought about them. But with that, it is it's about that time. We go ahead and head on out of here. It's getting late, so just one more time. Don't forget to see us on our social media sites right down here, and check us out. Message us. Check out our on our TikTok right there. Check out our videos. We're planning on here pretty soon. We're going to be moving our TikTok videos and putting them to YouTube, so that way you guys can not only see our podcast or our skits that we're going to be doing and stuff like that, but also our past TikTok videos.
At least the funny ones.
At least the funny ones. And of course, one more time, our Discord right there. I've had it on there long enough. You guys probably have.
You think they're still doing anything with AEW Shockwave, or they scrapped that? Since
I think they scrapped that since
Rampage is kind of not rampaging anymore.
Well, don't forget AEW Dark. When it would come on YouTube.
Yeah, that one. Went silent. It went dark a while ago.
Yeah, it sure did. I mean, it was a good concept in theory, but then, it just went by the wayside. No one wanted to pay attention to dark matches. Also, don't forget to visit our store.
Then I think it was just matches. The if I remember right. There wasn't like storylines on the
No.
dark.
Mostly with dark matches, you kind of have no storyline to go off of.
I think it would be cool if they did that though. Like have little, short, like smaller storylines.
Oh. I see Mad Dog Vachon, and it piques my interest because I'm familiar with the Vachon family. One match is the Crusher versus Mad Dog Vachon. Okay, we're definitely.
You're gonna have to add that to the list.
Yep. Let
like-
me. It's on the list. It just made the list. I cannot wait till we get a damn soundboard going.
What was like? When did they do that match? Was it or what show or whatever? Because usually that's how we find it easier. Like
Yeah, if you can give like a year or an event that it was at.
Yeah.
Well, tell people about our store while I'm typing this in and you're looking at the chat.
Probably don't have to have the beginning part. Cross promo podcast shop.fourthwall.com. We got stuff like hats, mouse pads,
Shirts, sweatshirts, beanies, mugs. Back in the 80s, AW. Okay.
just stuff like that. Some with our symbol, some with like this other picture of us. And it's the same one we got in the background right now.
Okay, I got it typed in. Okay. So yeah. And we'd love to hear from you guys, even if it's not dropping. He's dropping more. Jerry Blackwell versus Bruiser Brody. Okay. Keep talking, Chris. I'm got dead air here.
Yeah, because we gotta do something like edit that out or something. I don't know.
No, we can't.
Oh yeah, that's right. Let's see what else.
Look for. Oh, I got one. Be sure to look out on YouTube for. Grew up with AWA. I know old school Okay, so that one was probably AWA as well.
Where would we even find like AWA matches?
We could find
Would they
it
be
on.
on
It would be probably be on Peacock or on YouTube. I can definitely look and I'll find it. I will do my hardest to find it. Of course, our.
You have a very specific set of skills.
I do. I have a particular set of skills.
You're gonna find it.
I've
You're gonna watch it.
I've had them since I was at the age of 5. We have our
A
cross.
very particular set of skills. That's what it was.
Yes, we have a crossbody challenge. We're going to be getting that underway here pretty soon, where we'll be doing we'll be doing weigh-ins, where we'll weigh ourselves to start things off, so you guys can see our journey, and we'll also probably have a vlog and a playlist on YouTube, just so you guys can see us go through this whole process. I'm going to be aiming to lose weight due to health reasons. I'm young and should not be having health issues. He's going to be gaining muscle and strength, not
And
weight.
Well, not bad weight anyway.
Healthy weight. And we'll go from there. But again, we call it the crossbody challenge. So nice play on words we like to do.
Cross body, cross promo,
Wrestling move,
carrying cross,
carrying cross.
on X,
Yeah.
which is like a cross shape.
It's so much. But
Crosses everywhere.
crosses everywhere. All right. Well, with that all being
X Division challenge.
the X division, yeah.
X Division title.
If you want to know old school wrestling like AWA, NWA, WCCW, WCW, ECW, Mid South, OVW, FCW, and more. Okay, definitely. We'll be looking to you a lot there, Brandon. Definitely, Brandon, get with our Discord. We'd love to talk to you more about it. Definitely, because I'm a history buff, but then I'm also being a pro wrestling fan. I like to combine the two and just learn about the history of things, how things came to be and came about. So definitely like to talk to you more. But definitely join us on our Discord. All right. Well, with that, I want to
Like
take
X marks the spot, then they drop something on it.
I wouldn't say it like that.
When they do that, it makes an impact. Impact?
Oh, God.
TNA impact.
Oh, my God. You will not stop, will you? Anyway, for everyone that has came into our live here, of course, we want to give thanks to WWE Movie Maker, Brandon B., this one, Mui Mui Malaysia, Undisputed Championship Yeet. Of course, Aaron Black 1210, also known as That Chris, not this Chris, or Bearded Chris. And of course, the Divine Yinzer. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate you guys coming in to talk with us and everything. How do I look you up on there? If you have, Brandon B, if you have TikTok, message us on TikTok,
and we'll just
and we can send you the permalink. Chris will.
I don't have.
I'll send you the permalink and can hook up there.
Either that, or we can just try the QR code thing. I know we'll look into that later. I guess.
Yeah, we'll definitely. We're trying new things here. And that's you don't have TikTok? Okay. Shoot. Email us then if you've got an email.
Crosspromopod@gmail.com.
You got YouTube? Okay.
I don't know if YouTube.
Leave a comment in our in this live video that we're doing.
What we could do is put out a YouTube video for the link. Have a pinned comment, have it in the description, and
you know
the
what,
QR
we can't.
code.
Yeah, we could. I'll
cover all of our bases there.
I'll let you take care of that because you're more of the tech savvy.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't really messed with YouTube like that though.
Oh, okay.
So we'll work together on that later.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
But just leave a comment and or something. We'll definitely. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll get that going, and we can get you in contact with us. And of course, that Chris wanting to say his shout out and say that he's gone. But yeah, leave a comment in our YouTube, Brandon B, and we'll get back with you and definitely give you a link to it, and that way you can just give us some matches, some classic matches to watch. We'd love to watch some classic matches. All right, well, with that being said, we hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you haven't already, follow us on a social media. Like, subscribe, anything you could possibly do just to let us know that you are taking a look at our content. Plus, again, you could follow us on our, like I said, social media sites, but then also
follow or subscribe to us on our social medias.
Exactly. And then if you're wanting to hear our podcast, we've got quite a few episodes out for the span of 2-3 years now, and again, we've tried different formats and everything, so forgive us when you listen to our old stuff. But you can find them anywhere you find your podcast: Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, anywhere there. All right, well, with that, we're going to call it a night here, and for the Cross Promo Pro Wrestling Podcast, I'm Kevin.
I'm Chris.
And we gone.